poke. I need something that has a lot of opposition to this lineup. Gwen, I think, is a great answer into this too, because you can flex Gwen to CP. You can get her onto a weapon, whatever it makes sense. We see the Ozo come through.
Ozo coming out here again with these pocket picks. I can see Humanist just throwing his hands up in the air. Ozo locked in for TSM. Maybe they shore this up with a Gwen as well.
They could actually use Arden here.
Oh, Arden, wow.
So TSM has actually done this comp in the past. You start off with Protector Contract. You spend a lot of time making sure you shield up Ozo. You put Lyra in the lane. You put the heals underneath him, and he dives, specifically dives any kind of squishy backline, right? So this is exactly what this composition would be prepared for. If I was Phoenix Armada, I would probably be looking specifically for something to shut Ozo down. I don't really like the Celeste pickup. I think that's putting Ozo in an even better position.
You always said, I think you said to me when the world started, we see Ozo maybe into double range. This is triple range. Ozo's going to have a field day potentially, but let's see how it pans out. I know Humanist is excited. I'd probably think AJ's excited too, so let's hand over.
I tell you, Scoundrel, you have no idea just how excited we are. Players have been walking past us and pointing at Humanist and going, yeah! Hey-o. This is Humanist's thing, man. I cannot wait.
It's not just my... Who doesn't love some Ozo?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. You know something, Humanist? We did some interviews with these teams before Worlds began. And I asked all of the teams coming in from the foreign regions if they felt like North America had an advantage being in their home field with a home crowd.
Yeah.
After seeing the support here from the TSM fans and the chants and how it's fired them up to push this series even further, you gotta wonder if they still believe their answer, which was definitely not. Phoenix Armada, Team SoloMid, yet again, this could be our last game, but Team SoloMid, they're making a case for going all the way to 7. Let's kick this one off on the Halcyon Fold.
You know, I was doing some hypothetical drafting with Waldemar last night, just on paper. We were back and forth having some dinner, and at both times he drafted Ozo and said he beat me in the draft, and I gotta agree, it's a pretty good hero.
All right, well, we see Ozo going in right now, 2 versus 3. Team SoloMid, are they going too aggressive here? Best Chuck making his way down from lane is going to deter Phoenix just for a little bit from committing to this fight. And there's going to be the disengagement from TSM. We got to talk about that as well. This is a Lyra lane, something you haven't seen a ton of. Obviously, with the Arden in the roam position, it's kind of a requirement. But do you think this composition from TSM can take down Phoenix?
Well, I think it can. The reason that you're not seeing an aggression come out of TSM right now is they're not level 2. Look at that afterbounce, back and forth. He's just dancing around. Now, when Ozo hits level 2, it's like a different hero.
Well, he's level 2 now, so let's see what happens. He does find some good damage onto Mango, but Druid is nearby, making that rotation. A glimmer shot up the wall. Could find Flash, but it's not even needed. That's going to be the first kill of the game, going over to Phoenix Armada. They find Vainglory as well. TSM reminds me of last game, though. I mean, they did manage to make it back. Phoenix Armada got to be feeling good after the start of this one, though.
Yeah, Phoenix got to feel really good about that. I think, you know, getting caught out there was a bit of a problem. When Flash goes down, Vainglory, really not much he can do. All he could do at that moment was run away. And it appeared to be a slight miscommunication, but he did get the Vanguard from Flash and chose to then back up, which left Flash in a very dangerous position. We see the Protector contract actually coming out here, and this is something that our analysts talk about. It works really well with him.
It really does. He gains so much more shield because of his heroic perk. Nice by Flash, sticking in the lane, knowing that Willie might go up there. All right, let's talk about Vainglory and his Ozo build real quick, because obviously Ozo is something we see sometimes played as Crystal, sometimes Weapon.
Right.
You are a very, very well-known Ozo player. What do you... Yeah, you are, at least in our region. What do you think about weapon power here? Is this the right choice from Vainglory?
Well, honestly, if Ozo goes the weapon path, he is the true carry for your team. A lot of times in the high competitive level, I would say going CP Ozo with a weapon lane carry is the more consistent choice, where Ozo can just control a fight and then your lane weapon carry can come through, take objectives, finish off these fights. But he is going to be really scary through the mid game. You're going to see massive power spikes. If they do not get snowballed against, between the 8 to 15 minute mark, this Ozo is going to be actually insane. What they did to him in the last update, he's actually getting weapon ratio. Once he does his acro bounce, he gets a little bit of movement speed, and that's also going to scale with how long that duration lasts. It's pretty good.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Pretty good. Let's see if it manages to work out for TSM. They need it to work. I mean, this is possibly their last game in the world stage. They managed to come back pretty hard so far.
I think also, you know, paired up with this Lyra in the lane, of course you're not going to be getting like that insane healing from the roam Lyra, but you are going to be getting some heal, and she's going to be getting a lot of damage down, which means that Vainglory on this Ozo should be able to get into the backlines, be very disruptive, and with a nicely placed Bright Bulwark, a lot of maneuverability through these fights.
So we've talked about what Team SoloMid and specifically Vainglory on the Ozo need to do, but what should Phoenix be doing to deal with that plan? Because when you look at the composition Team SoloMid's running, when you see the build that Vainglory's gone for, you kind of know the direction they're heading in terms of their play.
They have an advantage when it comes to range. I mean, you look at all the heroes that Phoenix have drafted up, they have immense poke coming out. So if they can keep at range, they're going to win these fights. But when the gap is closed, that's where it's really going to start to hurt for them.
Vainglory tries to go in there onto Willie. I'm sure he would have liked the opportunity to maybe acro bounce onto Druid. Did not find it. Willie doing some good damage even on that roam Adagio just because of the buff potential early on in the game. You can see how much damage on the turret Phoenix has already managed to accrue as well. They're pushing very aggressively to start things off.
Well, Lyra also, this is not an early game carry out of the lane. She really comes online the later you get there. A lot of damage coming out.
Flash X got to be careful. Vainglory and Bestchuck also getting chunked down. This could be turret, and it is turret for Phoenix Armada. Very fast. Druid wanted more, but TSM backing away safely. I feel like maybe TSM should have backed away sooner, actually, because they're going to lose their backs as well now. If they just conceded the turret, maybe contested the backs, could have been a better situation.
Yeah, I think that's potentially a decent call there. And right now, they're just going to have to deal with the fact that they're not going to be getting this. Also, you know, Phoenix getting the regen off of this, they're just going to be able to apply more pressure.
Ooh.
If they want to hang around, they're going to be able to get a lot done. That's the Fountain, the Sorrow Blade completed on Frostburn, a lot of power spikes here, very early.
Yeah, we do have alternating current for Bestchuck, which again, it's kind of like a different hero as soon as a carry Lyra gets that, because your basic attacks really start to ramp up on damage because of that heroic perk. But at the same time, with these minion candies, with the Frostburn, with the Sarblade, I can't help but feel like Phoenix is just gearing up for as much push as possible and as much safety while doing it as possible.
You know what it looks like, Jackson? They have an engager. No, it's not going to happen. Now, Vainglory appears to be going into a build that I've only theory crafted and I've never actually played. He's putting more points into his 3-ring circus right now, which actually gives you a bit of weapon damage when you do proc that. And if he builds into Tyrant's Monocle, that will be able to take advantage of that little bit of extra weapon damage coming out, and he's just going to be critting through that. We'll see if that's what he does decide to complete.
So you have theory crafted about this, so you've thought that maybe it would work.
I've thought about it, but it's not a route that I've actually taken. I'm curious to see how it works out.
All right, well, we'll have to find out. Vainglory is starting to move up kind of aggressively. He's not level 6 yet. No Bangarang available. Willie could be the first target. That's going to be the Verse. It's stunned 3 people! Phoenix Armada! What a team fight. Kestrel with the double kill. That was massive for their early game lead.
Yeah, things kind of falling apart there for Team SoloMid. It's like every stun in the book just landed on top of Flash and Vainglory as they look to get into the backlines there. It's going to be really tough. Vainglory, he wants to get onto the Celeste in the backline, but he's just not able to get there with those stuns landing. All
right, well, with another minion candy and another push, Phoenix Armada pick up their second turret of the game only 7 minutes in. They're at 17,000 gold to the 13 of Team SoloMid. They've got control of the map. So long as they keep laying down vision, we're in the position we've seen quite a few times from teams against Phoenix, where they're just on the back foot to such a high degree.
Yeah, they're on the back foot. But, you know, similarly to how we've seen Phoenix on the back foot, and then they just dial it up, they ramp up that aggression as you get into that mid portion of the game. I think TSM with this competition can do very similar things. It's all about mobility, and it's all about Bestchuck as well. Bestchuck really needs to feel that he can get the damage down in and through these fights before they actually fully commit here. And he's starting to get to that point. As he gets into the Broken Myth, he needs to have his boots up, available to go. Maybe he decides to grab an infusion just in case the fight breaks out. And this is the Tyrant's Monocle coming out right now.
It is indeed. And Willie on the flip side, he's picked up a Crucible. We do also have some more minion candy. Phoenix want to keep pushing before Vainglory can get strong, before Bestchuck on Lyra can get strong. Bangarang comes out, though. It goes on to Mango. That's the main target. Stun on the Vainglory, however. He goes down. Bestchuck has to bail on the fight with the portal, but it might not be enough. Glimmer shot for the kill. It's an 8-minute ace for Phoenix Armada, and it's going to be an 8-minute Tier 3 turret 2.
Hard to watch for Ozo fan, hard to watch for a TSM fan. Phoenix just dismantling Team SoloMid here. 8 minutes in, 7-0. They're going to be pushing onto these Bane Crystal turrets right now. Look at that. It's going to be the first coming out. Vainglory's getting bursted down. Where's the backup? Vainglory's into the back lines. He's down. flash as well.
This is ridiculous. They could just end the game right here. Best Chuck nearly dies on the Sanctuary. Humanist, Phoenix Armada, they're doing it. They want to take the first World Championship by storm in style. Phoenix Armada are your first Vainglory World Champions.
Okay. Team SoloMid just losing this game in 9 minutes? Is that what the timer is here?
That was roughly the
Or
time.
Phoenix winning the game in 9 minutes is the way I should be phrasing it. Absolutely phenomenal. They made Celeste look like an early game hero.
That was just, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, Phoenix, they've got to feel great right now. Phoenix, I know, as an organization, picking up Invincible Armada, right? Quite recently, Invincible Armada was so happy to be picked up by this organization. Phoenix, a big name in the Vainglory community, one of the organizations that's been grassroots.
Right.
And they've managed to make it to first place at the first Vainglory World Championship.
Well, I'm stoked for these guys. Congratulations, Phoenix. Feels good.
And for TSM, look, they really did put up a good fight. Maybe not in that last game, but in the series as a whole. And when you see something like what Phoenix just did, you can't help but sit back in awe. That was just an incredible performance.
It was absolutely beautiful to watch. And multiple games from Phoenix all through this whole weekend. They've showed us things that we hadn't seen from any other team. Team SoloMid putting up an incredible fight. I talked to some of these other team captains that are here. They thought Phoenix might just roll through this undefeated, but really beautiful from Team SoloMid.
They were close, but they didn't quite go through undefeated. You got to look at Willie right now. He's a player who just kind of made it onto the roster, comes to Worlds, shows up, becomes an MVP. We've got an interview with your winners on stage with Playoff Beard. Let's hand it on down to him.
All right, I am here with your world champions, Phoenix Armada from Korea! Druid, first to you, taking the first ever world championship, bringing it to Korea for Phoenix Armada. How does it feel?
역사상 처음으로 이 세계 챔피언십에서 상을 타가지고 한국으로 피닉스 알마다 이름으로 오는 거 기분 어떠세요?
정말 말로 표현할 수 없을 정도로 정말 좋고요. 제가 VAPL 이 시즌 때 준우승을 했잖아요. 그때 기분을 정말 말로 표현할 수 없었거든요. 그 기분을 절대 느끼지 않기 위해서 이번에 정말 최선을 다해서 열심히 했습니다.
As you all know, we took a second place once before at the VGR1. That was a great feeling. But this feeling today is just indescribable, and I will never forget these feelings.
How did it feel to see TSM, they play the pedal and then they play the Ozo, some surprises that you would have to adapt to later in this series? They played pedal and Ozo. How did you adapt?
오조에서 패를 플레이를 했는데 어떻게 해서 적응을 하셨어요? 오조에서 패를 플레이를 하셨는데 적응을 어떻게 하셨느냐고 나중에 TSM하고 같이 패를 플레이. What does the pedal play mean?
The TSM played pedal.
Yeah. TSM이 패를 플레이를 했는데 어떻게 적응을 하셨습니까? 나중에.
페탈 플레이 했을 때는 사실 엄청 탁합해가지고 카운터가 나와가지고 많이 당황했었는데 그래서 쉽게 게임이 진 것 같고 오조가 나왔을 때는 셀레스트를 하면은 저희가 받아치기가 되게 좋은 조합이어가지고 무조건 잘 받아치면 이길 수 있다 생각한 것 같아요.
It was really difficult, but once Ozo came in, our team just collaborated so wonderfully, and we just wanted to react to them, and that made it work.
Let's bring your teammate over here for a moment. Get a chance to ask you a question as well. Willie, oh my goodness, he played so well throughout this tournament. I have to ask you, is this the beginning of the Korean takeover of Vainglory eSports?
지금 이 순간부터 뱅글로리 e스포츠에 한국 사람들이 한국인이 지금 아주 테이크오버를 할 것입니까? 이 순간부터?
그럴 것 같아요. 한국인들이 다 우승할 것 같아요.
I believe so. I think the Koreans are taking it over.
And Druid, come back over here 1 second now. Is there anything you would like to say to all of your Phoenix Armada fans back in Korea?
한국에 있는 피닉스 알마다 팬들에게 하고 싶은 말씀이 뭡니까?
저희가 4강을 시작할 때 한국이 새벽 시간이었거든요. 새벽 4시쯤 되는데 그때부터 자지 않고 정말 열심히 응원해 주신 팬 여러분들께 감사하다는 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
When we began the game 4, it was 4 a.m. in Korea. And I know the fans who are watching us and supporting us, and I am really grateful to them. Thank you all.
And many, many fans here in the building as well. But that is enough talk. Phoenix Armada representing Korea. Go claim your World Championship
가주세요.
trophy!